Before we jump into this wild, heart-pounding story, if you love real-life drama, shocking twists, and powerful life lessons set right here in Niger, smash that subscribe button now. You don't want to miss the next one. The chaotic afternoon sun beat down on the packed Oshodi bus stop in Lagos, where the air smelled of diesel, roasted plantain, and the sweat of thousands rushing through another ordinary day. Yellow Danfo buses honked endlessly. Conductors shouted, Oshodi, Ojuelegba, enter with your change, oh, while Okada riders weaved dangerously through the crowd like angry bees. Amid the hustle, 18-year-old Aisha Adebayo pushed through the throng, her school bag slung over one shoulder, earbuds blasting Afrobeats to drown out the noise. She was late for her jam tutorial in Ikeja, and the last thing she needed was delay. An old woman, bent with age, her wrapper tied tightly around her waist and a heavy basket of tomatoes balanced on her head, shuffled slowly toward the same Danfo Aisha was aiming for. The woman, wrinkled skin, gray hair wrapped in a faded scarf, moved like she had all the time in the world. Aisha, frustrated and hot, tried to squeeze past. The old woman's basket swung slightly, knocking Aisha's phone from her hand. It clattered to the dusty ground. Watch where you're going, old mama, Aisha snapped, bending to pick it up. The screen had a new crack. The woman turned slowly, her eyes sharp despite the years. Sorry, my daughter, the load heavy. But Aisha was already boiling. The day had been bad. Her boyfriend had ghosted her messages. Her mom was nagging about house chores. And now this. Without thinking, she raised her hand and slapped the old woman hard across the face. The crack echoed louder than any Danfo horn. The basket tipped. Tomatoes rolled everywhere like red marbles. People froze. A conductor paused mid-shout. An Okada rider nearly crashed watching. The old woman staggered but didn't fall. She touched her cheek, eyes wide, then narrowed. No scream, no tears, just a quiet, piercing stare that made Aisha's stomach twist. You slapped me, the woman whispered in Yoruba, voice low. You know no wetting you done do. Aisha felt the first flicker of regret, but pride kept her mouth shut. She pushed into the Danfo, paid her fare, and sank into a seat, heart pounding. The bus filled quickly, and as it jerked forward into traffic, she glanced back. The old woman was gone, swallowed by the crowd. That night in their small flat in Agege, Aisha tried to forget. She scrolled TikTok, laughed at memes, but sleep wouldn't come. Her cheek tingled as if the slap had bounced back. Around 2 a.m., her phone buzzed, an unknown number. A voice message, soft, elderly, in Yoruba accented English. Aisha Adebayo, you think slap na small thing? Tomorrow, come find me for Idumota Market, or the truth go find you first. Aisha deleted it, blocked the number, but the next day as she walked to the market to buy recharge card, people stared, whispers followed. At the gate of her compound, a neighbor auntie pulled her aside. You slap old woman yesterday. Chai Aisha, wetin possess you? That woman no be ordinary, oh. Tension crept in like Lagos traffic, slow, choking. Aisha's mom, Mama T, noticed her daughter's jumpiness. You dey shake like person we see juju. Wetin happen? Aisha lied. Nothing, just tired. But the messages kept coming. Different numbers, same voice. Photos arrived. Aisha's face from the bus stop, snapped by someone in the crowd. Then a blurry video clip of the slap, circulating on WhatsApp groups. Views climbed. Comments poured in. See this small girl wey no get respect. She go collect her own. Aisha's heart raced. Who was filming? Why now? 3 days later, desperate, Aisha took a Danfo to Idumota. The market was madness. Hawkers shouting, buy your lace, Ankara, original. But she found the old woman at a small stall, selling herbs and charms. The woman looked up, no surprise. You come? Aisha stood stiff. What do you want? Money? I go pay for the tomatoes. The old woman laughed, dry like rustling leaves. No be tomatoes. Sit. Her name was Mama Rizikat. She spoke quietly amid the market noise. I be your grandma, Aisha. Aisha laughed, nervous, disbelieving. My grandma died before I born, Mommy Tokam. Mama Rizika pulled out an old photo from her wrapper, a young woman holding a baby, Aisha's mom, young and smiling, beside an older version of herself. The resemblance was undeniable. Aisha's hand shook. Your mama run from me, Mama Risikat said. Long time ago. Family matter, land, money. Your grandfather die, leave property for Lagos Island. Big house, shop for Balogun market. But the family say woman no they inherit. They chase me out, say I no get right. Your mama, she be small girl then. She follow them. She change name, hide you from me. Say I go bring cars. Suspense thickened. Mama Rizikat continued. But the land still there. Government won't take 'em for road project. If them do, money go come. Big money. The family no say I dey alive. They think say if them kill me quietly, everything go be theirs. That slap, I provoke I won't make you see me. Won't make you know who you be. Aisha's world spun. Her mom had always said her grandparents died in a village accident. Now this, and the threats? Mama Rizikat showed text. Anonymous. Old woman, leave Lagos or die. Photos of her stall vandalized. Aisha left confused, angry. That night she confronted her mom. Mama T broke down. Yeah, she be your grandma. I no want trouble. The family wicked. They kill your grandpa small. Poison. I run so you no go suffer. But the danger was real. The next week, Aisha started noticing shadows. Men following her to school. Okada riders lingering too close. One evening, coming home from tutorial, two men blocked her in a narrow alley near Mushin. Where the old woman? One growled. She gets something we want. Aisha ran, heart in throat, dodging through traffic. She reached home panting. Mama Risikat called. They know you don't meet me. Now them go come for both of us. Tension peaked. Aisha and her grandma planned. They went to the family house on Lagos Island. Old colonial building now half crumbled, shops below rented out. The family head, Uncle Bello, and Uncle Aisha never knew existed, waited. You no suppose they here, he snarled. Woman no get share. But Mama Rizikat had proof. Old documents, land papers stamped from the 1970s, and something more, a hidden clause in the family will. The property was for all children, not just sons. The uncle had forged papers years ago. The argument exploded. Uncle Bello called goons. They dragged Mama Rizika toward a waiting car. Aisha screamed, pushed one man. Chaos. Neighbors gathered. Someone called police. In the scuffle, Uncle raised his hand to slap Aisha, just like she had slapped her grandma. But Aisha blocked it, eyes blazing. You no go touch me. Police arrived. Arrests followed. The truth came out. Forged documents, attempted fraud, threats. The land case went to court. In the end, the court ruled in favor of Mama Risikat and her descendants. Aisha and her mom got their share, enough to start a small business, pay fees, live better. Months later, Aisha sat with her grandma in the market stall. The old woman smiled. That slap, it wake you up. Aisha nodded, tears in her eyes. I no go forgive myself. The days after the police intervention at the family house on Lagos Island felt like walking through thick gari. Everything slow, heavy, and uncertain. Uncle Bello and two of his hired thugs were detained, but everyone knew how things worked in Niger. Money talked louder than evidence. Lawyers were already circling like vultures over roadkill. Aisha barely slept. Every creak in the Agege flat made her jump. She kept replaying the slap in her mind, the way Mama Rizikat's cheek had turned red instantly, the way the tomatoes had burst under people's feet like blood. She had never hit anyone before, not even in secondary school fights. Yet 1 second of rage had cracked open a whole lifetime of secrets. Mama T, her mother Titilayo, had changed too. The woman who used to shout at Aisha for leaving plates in the sink now moved around the house like a ghost. She cooked silently, stared at walls, and cried when she thought no one was watching. One evening, after Aisha returned from jam class, Mama T finally spoke. "Sit down, Aisha. We need to talk properly." They sat on the worn out two-seater sofa, the one with the spring that always poked you in the back. Mama T pulled out a small metal box she had hidden under the bed for years. Rusty, padlocked, the kind market women use for important papers. Inside were birth certificates, faded marriage photos, and one yellowed envelope with a wax seal that had long since cracked. Mama T opened it carefully. "This is the original will," she whispered. "Your grandfather, Baba Rizikat, wrote it himself before he died. He knew his brothers would try to cheat Mama Rizikat. He put everything in trust for all legitimate children and their descendants, male or female. But after he died, they produced a fake one. Mama Rizikat fought small, but she was alone. They threatened her children. Your mother, me, was only 12. I was scared, so I ran." Aisha stared at the paper. The handwriting was beautiful, old school cursive. She could almost feel the weight of the decisions made decades ago. "So all this time, you knew she was alive?" Mama T nodded, tears falling freely now. "I sent her money, sometimes through people, but I never went back. I was ashamed and afraid." The next morning, Mama Rizikat called. Her voice sounded tired but determined. "Aisha, we no finish. The government people don't come with surveyors. They won't mark the land next week. If we no show face with proper documents, them go pay the wrong people compensation. We go lose everything." Aisha felt the familiar churn of fear in her stomach. "But Uncle Bello's people, they go come back." "Now why we go move fast?" Mama Rizikat replied. "Tomorrow we go see lawyer for Lagos Island. Then we go the land together." The lawyer's office was a tiny space squeezed between a buka and a phone repair shop on Broad Street. Mr. Adeyemi was a small, sharp-eyed man in his late 50s who spoke in quick, clipped sentences and kept adjusting his glasses. He studied the documents for nearly 20 minutes without speaking. Then he looked up. "This is strong, very strong. The original will has the family stamp and witnesses who are still alive. 2 of them. If we can get affidavits from them, the forged document will crumble. But," he paused, "the other side has money. They will fight dirty. Expect intimidation, maybe even fake police." Aisha swallowed. "What do we do?" "First, we file an injunction to stop the compensation payment until the court decides ownership. Second, we need to secure the property physically. You must go there every day, show presence." The next few days turned into a tense routine. Every morning at 6:30 a.m., Aisha and Mama Risika took a BRT from Oshodi to CMS, then walked the remaining distance to the old family compound on Lagos Island. The building was 3 stories high, colonial style, with peeling cream paint and iron railings that had rusted into reddish-brown lace. The ground floor had 6 shops, 2 tailors, 1 provision store, a hair salon, a phone accessory seller, and 1 empty space that used to be a pharmacy. The tenants were confused at first, then suspicious, then openly hostile. One of the tailors, a thick-set woman called Iya Basira, blocked their path the 3rd day. "Who una be? We don't they pay rent to Uncle Bello for 20 years. You know fit just waka come claim property like this." Mama Risikat stood straight, despite her walking stick. "I be the owner. This place belonged to my husband. You go soon know." Word spread fast. By afternoon, a group of young men, clearly sent by the family, loitered outside the gate, smoking, making calls, staring. Aisha felt exposed, like meat in a market. She started carrying a small pepper spray her friend Kioma had given her after the Ali incident. Mama Risikat carried nothing but her faith and a small Quran tucked inside her wrapper. One evening, as they were leaving, the attack came. 3 Okadas pulled up suddenly. The riders wore black face masks. One grabbed Mama Risikat's walking stick and threw it into the gutter. Another pushed Aisha so hard she fell, scraping her knee on the broken concrete. Tell the old woman to leave Lagos, one shouted before they sped off into traffic. Aisha helped Mama Risikat up. The old woman was shaking, but her eyes were fire. They think say we go run, she said quietly, but we no go run. That night, Aisha couldn't hold it in anymore. She cried in her room, face buried in her pillow. The guilt was crushing. If she hadn't slapped Mama Risikat that day at Oshodi, none of this would have happened. Or maybe it would have happened later, worse. She didn't know anymore. The following week brought more pressure. Anonymous calls to Mama T's phone. Tell your daughter to mind her business or she go disappear. Fake court papers delivered to the Ageje flat claiming the property had already been sold. One night someone threw stones at their zinc roof, loud terrifying bangs that made the whole compound wake up. Aisha started failing her Jambi mock tests. Her mind was scattered. Her best friend Kioma noticed. You don't change, Aisha. Wetin dey happen? Talk to me. For the first time, Aisha told someone outside the family. Kioma listened, eyes wide, then hugged her tight. See, Ain, you no fit do this alone. We go fight back. I get cousin wey be journalist for one online paper. Make we expose them. The idea terrified Aisha, but she was tired of hiding. 2 days later, an article appeared on a popular Lagos blog. Family land dispute on Lagos Island turns violent. Elderly woman and granddaughter threatened over multi-million naira property. It included blurry photos of the damaged gate, Mama Rizikat's bruised arm from when they pushed her, and Aisha's scraped knee. The writer quoted sources close to the matter, saying the matter was before the court. The publicity changed everything. Suddenly, tenants who had been hostile started greeting Mama Rizikat with respect. Some even brought her water and asked if she needed anything. A few admitted they had suspected Uncle Bello was collecting more rent than he remitted. The police, pressured by the media attention, assigned 2 officers to monitor the property during the day. And then came the turning point. One of the original will witnesses, an 82-year-old man called Babaleke, surfaced. He had been living quietly in Badagry. Someone from the blog post recognized his name and convinced him to come forward. In court, Babaleke testified calmly. I saw Baba Risikat sign that will with my own eyes. He said, my wife and all my children must benefit no matter what. I signed as witness. They threatened me after he died, so I kept quiet. But now, I cannot die with this lie inside me. The judge adjourned for 2 weeks to review documents. During those 2 weeks, Aisha and Mama Rizikat grew closer than ever. They sat together in the empty shop on the ground floor, eating boli and pepper soup Mama T brought. Mama Rizikat told stories, how she met her husband at a wedding in the 1960s, how they built the house together brick by brick, how Lagos used to be quieter, kinder. Aisha opened up too, about school pressure, about the boyfriend who left her, about how she sometimes felt invisible in her own house. One afternoon, Mama Rizikat held Aisha's hand. That slap, it pained me, but it saved me. If you no slap me that day, maybe them for kill me quietly. God they use everything. Aisha cried again, this time cleansing tears. Finally, Judgment Day arrived. The courtroom in Igbozere was packed. Family members, tenants, journalists, curious Lagosians. The judge read slowly. After careful review of evidence, this court finds the original will to be authentic. The subsequent document presented by the claimant is forged. Ownership of the property at 17 Catholic Mission Street, Lagos Island, is hereby restored to Madam Risikat Adeoti and her legitimate descendants. Pandemonium, Uncle Bello's side shouted. Mama Risikat closed her eyes and whispered, Alhamdulillah. Aisha hugged her so tight she felt the old woman's fragile bones. Outside the court, journalists swarmed. Miss Aisha, how do you feel? She looked at Mama Risikat, then at the camera. I made a mistake. I disrespected an elder, but that mistake brought me back to my family. It taught me something Lagos life will never teach you in traffic or on the internet. Respect is not weakness, it is power. And family. Family is everything, even when it hurts. The compensation from the government road project came 6 months later, not billions, but enough. Mama Risikat used part to renovate the old building. Shops were upgraded, rents were adjusted fairly. A small portion went to Aisha's university fund. Another part started a foundation to help elderly women who had been cheated by family. Aisha passed JAMB on her second try. She chose law at the University of Lagos. On her first day, she visited Mama Risikat at the market stall. The old woman smiled, wrinkles deeper but eyes brighter. You don't grow, Aisha. Aisha knelt, took the old woman's hand and kissed it gently. Thank you, Mama, for everything. Mama Risikat touched Aisha's cheek, the same cheek she had slapped months before. And thank you, my daughter, for waking up. In the madness of Lagos, where horns blare, tempers flare, and survival feels like war, never underestimate the power of one moment, one slap, one kind word, one truth spoken. Everything can change. Respect your elders, not because they are perfect, but because they carry stories, pain, and wisdom you may never understand until life forces you to look. Control your anger. Choose your actions because what happens next will shock you. What part of this extended journey touched you the most? The courtroom drama, the street tension, the family reconciliation, or the lesson on respect? Drop it in the comments below. Share with someone who needs to read this and subscribe so we can keep bringing you more real Niger stories that make you think, feel, and maybe even change. See you in the next one.